What's up, African? It's KLX, King Leon X, the unapologetic black voice of America. I put the black woman, black child, black family first, and I'm a black man. Black lives matter most to me. So this Leaders or Readers video, hashtag Leaders or Readers challenge. I'm the creator of the challenge, so it's probably like my 70-something video. Pick up a book, read 1 to 3 pages, challenge your friends to do the same. So I've been doing this new thing with like reading a chapter before I get out of bed of like a book. I wake up, read a chapter, instantly like get your juices going, your brain flowing or whatever. So this is Freedom from the Known by Jiddu Krishnamurti. This is actually an official 1968 copy signed by Jiddu Krishnamurti. If you don't know who that is, it's one of Bruce Lee's mentors and one of Bruce Lee's gurus or whatever. Both from India. But anyway, I'm gonna read page 26 and 27. Uh, he says that you. Okay. If you are satisfied with your conditioning, you will obviously do nothing about it. But if you are not satisfied when you become aware of it, you will realize that and you will never do anything without it. Never. And therefore, you are always living in the past with the dead. You will be able to see yourself how you are conditioned only if there is conflict in the continuity of pleasure or the avoidance of pain. If everything is perfectly happy around you, your wife loves you, you love her, you have a nice house, nice children, plenty of money, you are not aware of your conditioning at all. But the moment there is disturbance, when your wife looks at someone else, you lose money, you're threatened with a war or pain or anxiety, then you know that you are conditioned. When you struggle against any kind of disturbance or defend yourself against any outer or inner threat, then you know you are conditioned. And as most of us are disturbed most of the time, either superficially or deeply, that very disturbance indicates that we are conditioned. So as long as an animal is petted, he reacts nicely, but the moment he is antagonized, the whole violence of his nature comes out. We are disturbed about life, we're disturbed about politics, we're disturbed about the economic situation, the horror, the brutality, the sorrow in the world, as well as in ourselves. From that, we realize how terribly, narrowly conditioned we are. And what shall we do? Accept the disturbance and live with it as most of us do? Get used to it as one gets used to living with a backache? Put up with it? There is a tendency in all of us to put up with things, to get used to them, to blame them on circumstances. If things were right, I'd be different. We say, give me the opportunity and I will fulfill myself, or I am crushed by the injustice of it all, always blaming our disturbances on others or our environment or the economic situation. If one gets to disturbance, if one gets used to disturbance, it means that one's mind has become dull. Just as no one can get used, or just as one can get so used to the beauty around it that it no longer notices that beauty. One gets indifferent, hard, and callous. The one's mind becomes duller and duller, and we do not get used to it. If we do not get used to it, we try to escape from it by some kind of drug, or joining a political party, or a political group, shouting, writing, going to a football match, or a temple, or a church, or finding some other form of amusement. Why is it that we escape from actual facts? We are afraid of death. I'm just taking that as an example. And we invent all kinds of theories and hopes and beliefs to disguise the fact of death, but the fact of death is still there. To understand that fact, we must look at it, not run away from it. Most of us are afraid of living as well as dying. We are afraid for our family, afraid of public opinion, of losing our job, our security, and hundreds of other things. The simple fact is that we're afraid, not that we're afraid of this or that. Now, why can't we face that fact? You can face a fact only in the present, and if you are not allowing it to be present, you are always escaping from it, and you can never face it. And because we have cultivated a whole network of escapes, we are caught in the habit of escape. Now, if you are at all sensitive, at all serious, you will not only be aware of your conditioning, but you'll also be aware of the dangers it results in, and what brutality and hatred it leads to. Why then don't you see the danger of your conditioning? Is it because you're lazy? Laziness being the act of Also, why then, when you see the danger of your conditioning, don't you act? Is it because you are lazy? Laziness being the lack of energy. Yet, you won't lack energy if you see immediate physical danger, like a snake in your path, or a cliff, or a fire. Why then don't you act when you see the danger of your conditioning? If the answer is that you don't see. Through the intellectual process of analysis, you may see some of your habits leads to destruction, but there is no emotional content in that. Only when there is emotional content do you become vital. Most of us walk through life inattentively, reacting unthinkingly according to the environment which we have been brought up, and such reactions create only a further bondage, further conditioning. But the moment you give up your total attention to your conditioning, you will see that you are free from the past completely, and that it falls away from you naturally. It is only when you see the conditioning and the danger of it immediately as you would a cliff, then you would act. So seeing is acting. So yeah, that's Freedom from the Known. I ended up reading page 28 as well, but I'm KLX. Pick up a book, read 1 to 3 pages, challenge your friends to do the same. Black Power.